Does your child have an IEP? Then you've come to the right place. When you sit in an IEP meeting, your team is going to talk about goals, services, and placement, and yet your child still isn't making the right progress. Why? Because your team is missing one very important thing. That's why in this video, I'm taking you behind the scenes of IEPs to talk about the final part of my series, How to Fix Your IEP, where we're going to talk about outcome-based IEPs, specifically why you need them, what they really look like, and how to get them for your child so you can advocate like a pro. What's up? I'm April Rarick, your special education advocate, and this is my cat, Mrs. Capricorn. We're here to make your IEPs and 504 plans so much easier. If you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Rise Ed Advocacy. Here's what you need to know about IEPs. Individual education plans, also known as IEPs, are regulated under IDA law. The problem with special education is so many times IEP teams get together and they craft that IEP. But here's the problem, is that when they craft the IEP, they're not looking at solutions in terms of the outcomes to make sure that the IEP is implemented with fidelity. That's why when your child doesn't make progress, your team isn't figuring out how they are developing the IEP or that instructional roadmap for everybody to follow. So before we dive into outcome-based IEPs, I first want you to check out all the other videos of my 5-part series, How to Fix Your IEP, so you know everything that you need to do leading up to this moment. Make sure to grab those links in the description box below. Let me ask you something. Was your last IEP for your child productive? Probably not, because you're watching this video. So how does this all relate to outcome-based IEPs? If you want to build a better IEP, then it's like building a house. We need to be productive, or we need to develop what's called the 5 keys to productive IEPs. Make sure to grab the link in the description box below to get our first free guide. So like I said, it's building a house when you are going to build an IEP with fidelity, or in order to craft a better one. So the first key to productive IEPs has to do with comprehensive assessments. The second key to productive IEPs has to do with, you guessed it, parent input. The third key has to do with team collaboration, so everybody on your team knows what they're doing and why. The fourth key that starts to cover the house has to do with draft assessments and reports. And the final key that sets the roof for the house, which is exactly what we're talking about today, is outcome-based IEPs. So now that you understand the 5 keys to productive IEPs, let's dive into outcomes and what that looks like and how you're going to get it for your child. Now it's time to dive into why you need outcome-based IEPs. Let me ask you something. Have you been getting IEP progress reports for your child? If you don't know what I'm talking about, then let me ask you this. You should be getting IEP progress reports, meaning every time your child gets a report card, they should be getting progress reports on those goals. This is one of the biggest challenges at the IEP table, and it doesn't help because you're trying to say, oh my gosh, how is my child determining progress? Are they making progress? Are they not? Make sure to watch my video, IEP progress reports, that talks about what they are and why you need them, so that it's so much easier to determine if your IEP is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. So speaking of that, there's one other issue that is such a big problem, and I want to talk to you about it. Do you notice the language on your child's IEP? What am I saying? I'm saying, is your IEP based on deficits, or is it based on strengths? And this is one of the biggest challenges, is that we can't turn those IEPs around in order to make the right outcomes and build a better IEP. So look at your child's last IEP. It should be talking about not just what they can't do, but what they learned, what they need to learn, and how the team is going to develop that based on their strengths and not just the standard fare in special education. Make sure to grab my free guide, the Strengths versus Deficits IEP Approach. Grab those links in the description box below so that you can get the outcome-based IEP that your child deserves. So we've talked about the 5 goals to productive IEPs, and we've talked about why you need outcome-based IEPs. Now it's time to dive into what. Specifically, what do outcome-based IEPs look like? So I want you to go in the other room and go grab your child's last IEP. I'm going to go ahead and wait until you get it. Okay, did you get the IEP? Awesome. Let's take a look together. First of all, I want you to go to what's called the present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. This is the most important part of your child's IEP. Pro tip. Inside that present level section, it needs to be a narrative, and it needs to lay out what your child can do, what they can't do, what they need to learn, and the barriers to learning. It's called the SWOT analysis, and it should be very clearly laid out in the present level section. Do you see it? More than likely, probably not. It's just a spit out of test scores, or worse yet, it doesn't even update. And every single IEP, that information should be new. This is the first key factor into knowing if your child has an outcome-based IEP. Now I want you to move ahead into the IEP goals. Take a look. Do you see in the goals the underlying and the performance conditions? Meaning, do you see prompts? Do you see cues? Does it spell out what this looks like and how your child will demonstrate progress based on fidelity? I want you to grab my free guide, SMARTER IEP Goals, that lay out how you can develop smarter goals based on evaluations and based on relevant, meaningful, and useful information. Grab that link in the description box below. So speaking of IEP goals, one of the biggest challenges at the table is that when teams develop the goals, they don't look at all the different constellations of your child's unique learning needs, which go back to the strengths. So in order to craft outcome-based IEPs, I want you to check out my video, How to Craft Smarter IEP Goals, that lay out specifically how to write a goal and how to read an IEP goal for your child. This will help transform your next IEP meeting. Make sure to grab those links in the description box below. So now you know about the 5 keys to IEPs, why you need them, and what this looks like. Now it's time to talk about how. How are you going to get this for your child? Here's the deal. Pro tip is that as a special education advocate, I know how to craft the letters. I know how to make the requests. But how can you do this? How do I transform all the knowledge to you so that you can get everything you need right now? Make sure to check out my template and guide shop that gives you all the fillable instant download templates that you need when it comes to how to request an IEP meeting, how to request your first IEP evaluation, or how to get a new one, how to get toolkits. I've even got kits in Spanish. Make sure to grab all the links below and get everything that you need right now. Perhaps you're watching this video and you're like, you know what, April? I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to craft IEPs. I want to learn how to read the IEPs like a pro, or I want to start on the IEP process. What do I do and how do I do it? Make sure to check out my do-it-yourself IEP workshops. I've got 4 workshops exactly for you for every part of your IEP journey that give you all the information. Each of them take only about a day to complete, and you can do everything from the comfort of your home so that tomorrow you can start your child on an outcome-based IEP that's built on fidelity and get your child what they deserve without the drama and without the tears. Make sure to grab those links in the description box below. So now you know more when it comes to outcome-based IEPs, specifically why you need them, what they look like, and how to get them for your child. Let me ask you something. What has your experience been with your child at your last IEP? Was your last IEP outcome-based? Put your questions and comments in the link in the description box below. Want me to do another video or expand more on what I've already talked about? Yep, put it there too. Make sure to like and subscribe to get more videos like this in your inbox, and follow us on Instagram at Rise Ed Advocacy. Grab all those links in the description box below so that you can get what you need right now for your child. I'm April Rarig, your special education advocate, and my cat, Mrs. Capricorn. We can't wait to see you for your next video.